What's going on, guys? So we have a problem with the Brookstone. So we noticed this the last time we were out. Look at the slide out toppers. You see that cord coming out? So to the best of my knowledge, that is the cord that actually secures the fabric material to the actual awning. And we're going to see if we can fix that. It's starting to creep out. If we can't fix it, or if it doesn't seem like it's going to be that possible to fix, I'll probably cut it off and then put a screw in to hold it in place. I think a screw was supposed to be there from the factory, but I'm not 100% certain. But yeah, we should hopefully be able to get this fixed. First thing I'm going to do is use my One Control app. And hopefully I can connect to the RV here. Let's go ahead and kick our slides out. So first we'll do the bunkhouse slide. You can see it spinning around up there. Hopefully that'll take the tension off of it. Okay, so that one is out. And we'll also kick out this slide right here, which will be the bedroom slide. Again, I have absolutely no idea how hard this is going to be to fix. I think a screw is about to fall out too. Right there. Okay, the screw fell right here. And I think that's the problem. That little screw came out on this one, and I don't know if that one's coming out. Doesn't look like it is, but we'll see. Okay, so I have my ladder out. It is indeed the piece that holds the fabric in place, and I'm going to try to push it back in. I know some people have said they've been able to. Some people claim they can't. Let's see what happens. Seems like it's going back in. Definitely not going in super easy, but it appears to be sliding back in. It's definitely getting a little shorter. So it went in about, I guess about 3 or 4 inches. See if I can just push kind of slowly. It's going in. It's just going in slowly. I'm going to keep working on it real quick and I'll let you know if I can get it in completely. But it's gone in now probably 4 inches. So let's keep trying. Okay, so I got it a fair way in. I actually used my pocket knife to catch it and kind of slide it in where it got a little too stiff for me to move by hand, but it's not going in anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off right here. I'm going to put a set screw right there just so it doesn't go any further than where it's at. Hopefully that'll fix it. I don't think I need to put another one on the other side because I really doubt the wire is going to work its way all the way back in and start popping out the other side. I'll try to push that one in next, get as far in as I can, and then cut it off, and then also put a set screw. This awning wraps around 1 full revolution, actually almost a full revolution past where it stops right here. So I don't think there's going to be any real issue with the awning material coming out of there, especially since I have, the vast majority of it locked in place. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it holds up. Okay, so I have a screw that's already gone in there. It's super tight now. I cut off the remaining slack right there and I checked all of these and they are tight. So I know for a fact one of them on that one is loose because it came off in the process of unscrewing it. Hopefully we'll be able to tighten that one back in place and then put another set screw after we try to get as much of that cord back in here as possible on that one. So let's move the ladder over there. Okay, so let me tell you what I did here. This side was quite a bit more difficult than the other side. Let me back it out real quick so I can show you what's going on here. All right, so you can see right there, I cut the cord off there. I could not get this one to go in at all by hand. So I just cut it off. It was about 1 foot that's come out of it. It doesn't look like any of the other side of the awning's actually coming off or the material's coming out. I went ahead and put a set screw in there that's really tight. But here's the problem. So the 3 screws, or here's another problem. The 3 screws that you see around the outside of the cylinder tube, those are all self-tapping or self-drilling screws, and they just loosen over time. You know, I really feel as if the industry needs to move away from self-tapping, self-drilling screws, unless they're going to do something to secure them better, because there was no adhesive, there's no Loctite, there's nothing on here to prevent these from loosening and backing out over time. And if you don't do that, then these can come out. So what ended up happening was this piece right here started to come out, and then it got caught underneath here, and it was kind of worming its way out slowly to where it actually loosened this. All 3 screws had come out. The last one came out today, oddly enough, right when I was coming to fix it. And this cap was kind of crooked. So you can see where the pressure actually caused the aluminum material here to start cracking. I really think that this end cap needs to be secured better. Maybe if it's a longer sleeve that slides over with 2 screws in each position instead of 1. But this is a really weird place for it to fail, mainly because it's something that you use a lot. And through time, that motion is going to cause these to get loose. So Lippert's the manufacturer of this. I really think they need to step up here and make this sleeve right here extend in a lot further so there's more grip in this space. Also, always ensure that there's a set screw at the end of this ribbon, because obviously it's something that can come out. And I'm not a full-timer, so you know, there's really no claim that I do this all the time. We do put the slides in and out routinely. I'm probably going to say a couple of times every couple of weeks. Only because if it gets really, really windy and nobody's using the RV, I go ahead and put the slides in, and then I put it back out when it gets sunny again. But yeah, this is something that could definitely have a bit of a better design to it. So again, if they can make this cup right here slide further on, put 2 screws, put Loctite material right here, and put a set screw to keep this cord from coming out on both sides, I think they would have a far better solution. And it doesn't seem as if it would actually take much effort or much manufacturing to do. Okay, I believe both sides are fixed now. I didn't see any of the other slides exhibiting any type of issues like that. I might go ahead and put set screws in them just to be safe since I'm out here with the ladder, and then see how everything works. But let's go ahead and put the bedroom slide back in and see what happens. See, this side over here looks fine. It doesn't look like there's any issue at all. This side now looks really good. And we are in. Put the bunk slide in. No issues over here. I don't see any other screws or anything else coming out on the ends over here either. Everything looks like it's working really well now. And again, if you look at the ends here, I don't see any of the cords coming out over here or over here, and the caps seem to be secured on there as well. So perhaps it was how it was installed. Not sure. And then around the camp side, this is the longest one, and it's probably the same length as the other one. But these also look really good. No issues there, no issues with the main slide out either. So it just appeared to be happening on the other side. Got it all fixed up, took about 30 minutes. Not a very difficult repair to do. Just understanding that I had to remove some, or had to cut off the part of the cord that wouldn't go back in. Aside from that, it looks like everything's still going to function properly, but everything else seems to be okay. I need to get on the roof and do my biannual maintenance. Definitely looks dirty up there, so that'll probably be the next job I do out here. Plus, I have to get under the 5th wheel right here because I feel like I might have a leak from one of the drain fittings after the last freeze we had. So I'm not sure. I winterized the unit, but water can still collect in some areas that you just can't get to. And after everything thawed, I had a drip coming from the bottom right there for a couple of days after everything had thawed. So I don't necessarily know where that could have been coming from. I don't think it was condensation coming off. Every morning there's condensation pooling up around the ground here where it collects on the roof and then just drips off. But this one was underneath the RV, and I don't really know how it could have gotten there unless we have a small plumbing leak. So I'm probably gonna have to drop the underbelly right here, get underneath there, and see if anything cracked during the last freeze, because you know, it's certainly a possibility. We don't get a lot of freezes out here, and I did winterize the unit, but that doesn't mean that some water froze underneath in one of the gate valves and possibly caused a bit of an issue. So that's going to be the next thing I explore. Yeah, I'd say I had a leak. I was under here, I dropped 2 of the screws down, and this is what happened. I'm going to say a couple gallons of water flooded out. That's water damage. Now I got to figure out where it's coming from. You know, thankfully Coachman did tell me something about the Brookstone and about their models, is that they don't put insulation in the bottom here, because you couldn't see this. You just saw it looked bone dry under here. I got under there, it looked like they were bowing down a little bit, but you know, that's kind of common over time. But I'm going to say there was at least a couple gallons of water being held underneath there by those panels. And the minute I took the first screw out, it came down a little bit, but the second screw, it just dropped. And a bunch of water came out, got a little bit wet. Thankfully, it smells like fresh water. It does not smell like any of my gray or black tanks. Thank the Lord for that. That said, I'm going to finish removing these panels, see what's going on under there, see what could have sprung a leak. And again, this happened after the last freeze, so I can't blame anybody for this except myself. I didn't do a good enough job winterizing, obviously. So I'll get under there, see what I can fix. Okay, so I just went inside, turned on the shower and the sink, and I'm going to see if anything's leaking from there. There we are right there. Check it out. Right there. I don't know what that is, but I found my leak. Okay, so really good news is that it's only coming from inside of there. There's no water dripping around from the other side. It can't be coming from the top of the tank. It's only coming from in here. And whatever is going on right there. So it's pointing me in a direction. Now I just got to figure out what direction that is, because I can't see up in there without dropping some more of these panels. So that's my next job. Okay, so I'm under the RV now. That is where the hole is. It's obviously going on inside of the plywood upper deck. And this looks like it's probably directly underneath the shower. So my problem now is figuring out where. It could just be the seal around the bottom of the shower. Not 100% sure, but I'm going to dig into it and see specifically what might be causing this to leak right here. Okay, so I found the problem. It's getting darker outside now, and I can tell you what the problem is, and hopefully I can come up with a solution. So you can't see it very well from here. Maybe you can. See this pipe right here? This is the shower drain pipe, and it's got a crack on the other side about 3 inches long. So obviously water collected in here, froze and cracked, and that's why that pipe is cracked and it's wet. So I've closed up part of the floor. The sun has gone down, so it's starting to get dark outside, and I'm not going to have enough time to completely seal the bottom back up. But the next thing I need to do is get back here and figure out exactly how I'm going to fix that. Now, something to note is, again, how glad I am that Coachman doesn't put batted insulation down here. Because had they, the minute I dropped that, I would have been greeted by quite a bit of completely soaked fiberglass insulation just falling out, and then I would have had to remove all of it because it would have gotten wet, and it carries a lot of weight too, so any water that hadn't drained out that was collecting in there, not just the roughly 3 gallons or so that came out, would have saturated it, and it would have completely, possibly caused the whole bottom to fall out on me. That's how much it can end up weighing, because remember, a gallon of water is like 8.5 pounds. So keep in mind that some things that automatically come off as kind of pointing to something. I thought it was one of my holding tanks that was leaking, and it wasn't. It was water from the shower, which is right here, leaking when it came down the drain right here, running down this pipe all the way to the bottom right there, and then dripping out onto the ground. Now, the next thing I also need to do is get back here, open all of this up, and make sure that nothing is damaged down here, because this is going to be a really important step. This is super critical. And if you remember when we installed all of the solar equipment and the inverters, I put this big stainless steel, or sorry, aluminum shield here, just in the event there was some type of water-related issue, it wouldn't drip on any of the equipment. So it goes all the way down here, and you can actually see how it blocks everything. I don't know if you can in this video, but it goes all the way down to the ground. So if water hits it, it'll pool off that way and down, and then go out the bottom versus actually damaging any of the equipment right there. So I'm very glad I did that. But at this point, let me see if I can get some light in here. At this point, we have to fix the leak. And the leak is coming from right there. And you can probably see the hairline crack right near the top of the coupler. And that's just a little bit of water that wasn't moving, got caught there, froze, and eventually cracked the pipe. So thankfully, we know what the culprit is now. We can get to it, hopefully. And I need to inspect everything down here to make sure there's no residual water that's being held, because the last thing I want to do is have my floor rot out because I didn't properly drain or clean up any of the water that had hit that area. So there you go. Anyways, this little segment is far from over. This will probably be the first video of a repair that I now need to do to the RV. Thankfully I caught it, and thankfully it wasn't too bad. But it is definitely something that has to be repaired. Anyways, guys, sure hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't had a chance, please hit that subscribe button so you can see how this goes. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.